Good afternoon. I'm Amin, and welcome to News on 2. Now, a total of 135,761 pupils entered Year 1 for the 2018 school session in Kelantan, Terengganu, Kedah, and Johor yesterday. And according to the 2018 school year calendar, the school session in these four states, categorized as Group A, commenced yesterday, while the other states under Group B begin their school sessions today. In Kelantan, State Education Director Muhammad Zahari Othman said 28,145 pupils entered Year 1 at 418 primary schools. He said 13,376 pupils also registered for preschool, while 28,961 entered Form 1 today. He added that the 29,626 primary and secondary school teachers in the state would continue to carry out their duties diligently, including the task of disciplining students.
Kemenjadian murid dia meliputi keberhasilan dalam pencapaian akademik, keberhasilan meningkatkan sahsiah diri murid, iaitu disiplin diri dia, keberhasilan dalam konteks co-curriculum dan juga keberhasilan dalam konteks psikologi. Keempat-empat komponen ini dikategorikan sebagai komponen kemenjadian murid yang mesti difokuskan oleh semua warga pendidik, khususnya pengetua dan guru besar.
Meanwhile, in Terengganu, 20,631 Year 1 pupils started school at 352 primary schools. Education Department Director Shafruddin Ali Hussein said of the total, 10,370 were girls, while 10,261 were male students. He added that as for Form 1, a total of 19,759 pupils have registered at 150 secondary schools. Prime Minister Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak is calling for Muslims in Malaysia and around the world to stand united in ending the oppression faced by Muslims in Myanmar and Palestine. Now, the Premier on his blog www.najibrazak.com said that Malaysia will remain firm in its stand to oppose the United States' recognition of Jerusalem as the Israeli capital, as declared by its President Donald Trump. He added that the government will also continue to provide aid for the Rohingya refugees who are taking shelter in Bangladesh after fleeing the prosecution in Myanmar. Malaysia is currently working towards bringing these issues to the international community. Meanwhile, the Premier said that the abolishment of 4 tolls was not aimed at gaining the votes of the people for the coming 14th general election. He said it was mainly done with the people's interests in mind and also to ease their financial burden. The 4 tolls were in Sungai Rasau and Batu Tiga in Selangor, the Johor Bahru Eastern Dispersal Link Expressway EDL in Johor, and Bukit Kayu Hitam in Kedah. Dato Sri Najib in his blog criticized the parties which claimed that the abolishment of the tolls was due to their efforts, despite the fact that it was instead championed by the BN component parties together with other government leaders. The tolls stopped operations at 12 a.m. on January 1st, 2018, following the announcement made by the Premier when tabling Budget 2018. The Prime Minister said the government would continue to listen to the people's polls and to help them with various infrastructure, such as the toll-free Pan Borneo Expressway, rail projects and various incentives, as well as welfare aid. Kuah Assemblyman Nur Saidi Nanyang has urged Langkawi ferry operators to stop imposing the 3 ringgit fare hike immediately, saying that the extra charge will jeopardize the island's tourism sector. The Assemblyman, who joined the chorus in ticking off the ferry operators for imposing the hike without consulting the state government, also described the reason behind the move was to encourage passengers to purchase tickets online as illogical. Nur Saidi said it was appalling that the operators could impose the fare hike without prior notice.
Saya mohon agar ditarik balik dan dikaji sehinggalah keputusan dibuat oleh Jabatan Laut untuk satu tempoh yang lebih relevan berdasarkan kepada alasan dan pandangan-pandangan yang dikemukakan.
The assemblyman also said he was arranged for a meeting with the ferry operators tomorrow to discuss the matter. As a result of the 3 ringgit fare increase, the ticket prices for Kuala Kedah Langkawi trip went up to 26 ringgit for adults and 20 ringgit for children, while the ticket prices for Kuala Perlis Langkawi trip are 21 ringgit for adults and 16 ringgit for children.
Johor Menteri Besar Dato' Muhammad Khalid Noordin has reminded Johorians not to be influenced by Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad's criticism of the Forest City Development Project in Gelang Patah. Now, he said the former Prime Minister's allegations that the Forest City involved land being sold to foreigners were not true. Dato' Muhammad Khalid said the Forest City project would generate developments in the state as Johor does not have major and valuable natural resources like other states such as Sabah, Sarawak and Terengganu. He said Johor has to think of ways to develop itself as it is not located in the Klang Valley, which benefit from the federal government's development. In his speech at the first annual General Assembly of Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia, PPBM, in Shah Alam, Tun Dr. Mahathir, who is also the party chairman, claimed that Forest City was also another case of land being sold to foreigners to pay for the country's debts. Now, the curfew in the waters of 7 districts in the Eastern Sabah Security Zone, or S Zone, which was to end at 6 p.m. yesterday, has been extended to January 17th. And Sabah Police Commissioner Dato' Ramli Din said the areas include the waters of the district of Tawau, Semporna, Kunak, Lahad Datu, Kinabatangan, Sandakan and Baluran. Now, Dato' Ramli said following the extension, those living in the area are urged to stay indoors, while outsiders are not allowed to enter the area from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. during the period. Now, this move is to ensure the safety of well-being of Sabahans, especially fishermen who ply their trade in the waters of S Zone. Dato' Ramli said the curfew is also aimed to keep out terrorists threatening the security of international researchers working in the areas and tourists visiting the island resort. The Education Ministry said the review into the improved version on the guidelines relating to students' punishment is in its final stage and will be announced soon. Its Deputy Minister, Dato' P. Kamalanathan, said the ministry will also allow teachers, parents and even students for the opportunity to provide recommendations with the interests of all parties involved.
Itu kita sedang melihat, Menteri pun dah maklum pada kita kena semak semula apakah dia yang boleh, apa yang tak boleh. Tapi kita akan ikut prosedur yang sedia ada untuk memastikan segala ini dapat dirancang. Kerana ini got to do dengan anak murid kita.
Speaking at a press conference in Gelang Patah, Johor Bahru, Dato' Kamalanathan said guidelines on punishments for cyberbullying are also among the issues reviewed for the improved guidelines. The number of flood victims in Pahang rose to 445 this morning after Rompin became the latest district to be affected by the floods. And Pahang Civil Defence Force Director Colonel Zainal Yusof said 349 people from 95 families were evacuated to 5 relief centres in Rompin.
According to Colonel Zainal, the Teluk Gading Community Hall in Tanjung Gemuk housed 15 people from 5 families. Kampong Setajam Flood Relief Centre, 148 people from 38 families. Kampong Pianggu Community Hall, 42 people from 14 families. Sekolah Menengah Pontian Jaya, 94 people from 26 families. And the Sepayang Community Hall, 59 people from 12 families. The number of evacuees in the Kuantan district, meanwhile, rose to 96 people from 35 families, up from the 34 people from 14 families last night. Colonel Zainal said 2 more relief centres had been opened, one at the Kampong Paya Bungor Community Hall, which houses 7 people from 2 families, and the other at the Kampong Kurnia Drainage and Irrigation Department Hall, which houses 12 people from 4 families. The other 2 centres at the Sri Damai Community Hall and Pandan Dua Community Hall house 36 people from 16 families and 41 people from 13 families, respectively.
Well, coming up, Sarawak seeks more international direct flights to boost tourism. Well, Sarawak is aggressively seeking opportunity with AirAsia for more international direct flights to further boost the state's tourism industry in 2018. Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Abang Johari Tunopeng said 2017 has recorded great improvement in terms of air connectivity, especially international direct flights. with Kuching recently being connected to Shenzhen, China, and Bintulu to Singapore by Air Asia. Now, in his speech, which was read by State Tourism, Arts and Culture Assistant Minister Dato Lee Kim Shin at the launch of Visit Miri Here 2018, Dato Patinggi Abang Johari said Miri had a fair share of international direct flights, with last month Indonesia-based Express Air inaugural direct flights from Pontianak to Miri. He said the Sarawak Tourism Board, STB, was also working with Royal Brunei Airlines to position Miri and Mulu as a must-stop destination for stopover passengers, particularly on the Melbourne-London route. He said STB had taken the first step last month to fly in agents from Melbourne for a familiarization trip to Miri City and Mulu to enable them become familiar with local products in Miri City and Mulu. Miri has the most number of national parks such as Piasau Nature Reserve, Lambir Hills, Nia, Luagan Bunut, Miri Sibuti Coral Reef, Usun Apau, and UNESCO Heritage Site Mulu. Malaysia Rail Link Sendirian Berhad MRL training program online registration is now open until January 3rd. And in a statement, MRL said the 3-month training program called the East Coast Rail Link Industrial Skills Training Program, or PLKI-ECRL, was aimed at nurturing more skilled workers in the rail industry and to complement the establishment of the National Rail Centre of Excellence, NRCOE. Now, MRL said the course focused on design and construction of railway, and it is in line with the formation of the NRCOE that will oversee and coordinate the quality and accreditation of national rail education. Now, the training program is a result of the collaboration among MRL, China Communications Construction Company, and University Malaysia Pahang, which will train up to 3,600 students from 2017 to 2022 with interests in the rail industry. MRL said the first intake of 49 trainees consisting of 21 diploma and 29 degree holders in September had just graduated and would start working in January 2018. The Terengganu government will upgrade existing tourist attractions in every district in a bid to empower the state's tourism industry based on the uniqueness of each particular district. Its Menteri Besar, Dato Sri Ahmad Razif Abdul Rahman, said the additional tourist attractions would give visitors more options while visiting the famous tourist sites such as in islands and beaches in conjunction with its Visit Beautiful Terengganu 2018 campaign.
Dato Sri Ahmad Razif said for a start, the Rumah Warisan Haji Su in Losong, Kuala Terengganu will be turned into the state's tourism model. Other developments will also include refurbishing the historical inscribed stone, while Rantau Albang will possibly be set up with a turtle museum. Dato Sri Ahmad Razif said the locations will be developed according to their respective attractions such as culture, food or art, and craft such as songket, batik and brass carvings.
Sebab itu kita kena target. Jadi sekarang ni kita target ialah pelancong-pelancong yang berhampiran dengan negara kita lah. Antaranya ialah Singapura lah. Jadi kita akan lebih agresif membuat promosi kepada pelancong Singapura, Australia dan juga pelancong tempatan.
Dato Sri Ahmad Razif had earlier launched the Visit Beautiful Terengganu 2018 campaign at the Sultan Mahmud Airport in Kuala Nerus, Terengganu. The government hopes that visitors will leave the state with pleasant memories and return for more, as more tourism-related attractions would have been completed by next year.
Permodalan Nasional Berhad PNB, the country's largest fund management company, plans to deliver sustainable, consistent and competitive returns through its three main core businesses. And its chairman, Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar, said its initial focus will be to ensure that the strategic companies under PNB will target the basics of business, increase revenue and dividend payments. The second will be to execute the strategic asset allocation to increase returns in a sustainable manner and within the risk limit. This includes increasing the allocation of private investment in domestic and foreign markets in line with the opportunities offered. And finally, discussions will be held with core companies under PNB to hold at least 10% or 1 billion ringgit to improve the company's performance. Now, these moves are vital to increase the company's revenue, which will generate higher returns to shareholders. Bruno Lopez has signed a 1-year contract with Kelantan for the upcoming Super League season. And Kelantan Football Association, KAFA, has expressed hope that Lopez could help the Red Warriors return to its former glory after the team narrowly survived the drop on the final day of the 2017 season.
On his Instagram account on Monday, the 31-year-old also thanked former club Persija Jakarta, an Indonesian League One team. The Curitiba-born player helped Persija finish fourth in the Indonesian League last season with his 10 goals in 29 games. According to CAFA, Lopez is a replacement for Croatian Marko Simic, who snubbed Kelantan for Persija. The Super League outfit are also reportedly scouting for an ASEAN signing after Filipino-born Misak Bahaduran decided not to join them.
And that concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, abolishment of 4 tolls not aimed at gaining votes. Well, do join us again at 7 tonight for more updates. Till then, I'm Amin Carlos, and thanks for watching.